Welcome back, everybody, to another installment of 30 Videos in 30 Days with Deep Video. I'm hosting this time. My name is Jason Dyer. We are trying to get ourselves down to Austin, Texas, July 29th through the 31st for the worker-owned national conference, so we can learn what we need to learn about the details of financing and bookkeeping, etc., to get our vision of a worker-owned multimedia cooperation off the ground. So we are joined. Actually, I'm kind of invading this little jam space with Sonar Lights. Guys, you want to go down the gamut here and
sure.
Just let us know who you are?
I'm Dyer, and I play bass.
I'm George. I play guitar and sing. I need a mic, man. Let me get that mic. I'm Doug. I play drums.
How long have you guys been doing this stuff?
Well, Sonar Lights has been around for about 4 years. But these two guys have been around for right.
The dreaded question, how would you describe the style of music that you guys are putting out there right now?
Well, I call it heavy rock. Yeah.
I don't know. We have a lot of influences. I mean, we got a couple songs that are kind of. We got a couple songs that are heavy rock, some that are kind of bluesy. So I mean, but overall, yeah, I agree. I think it's just heavy rock, heavy rock.
Too much coffee.
Too much coffee, is that what it is?
Absolutely.
Right in the middle of the day on practice, huh? That's where it gets you. Do you guys have like a favorite scene or environment that you like to play locally throughout Dallas and Fort Worth, and I suppose Denton as well?
I would put Denton first.
Okay.
Up there. We started gigging over there, so it's kind of like our hometown.
Okay. What is it about that environment in Denton that appeals to you or puts it at the top for you? Is it the familiarity, or is there like a vibe there?
I live there, and I
Right
grew
on.
up there. So I mean, for me, yeah, it's kind of just it's a known environment. So.
I like the vibe.
Right on.
People are cool and weird.
Cool and weird. That's pretty good.
Yeah, real Denton. Yeah.
Okay, so I encourage everybody out there to check out the videos. You guys have lots of videos from lots of places available for people to get a sample of the music, and I very heavily encourage them to check that out and to find you the next place that you're playing. Do you want to plug the next show? This will be going up within this week. So
yeah, we're playing at Lola's.
Okay.
And
July 1st.
July 1st. We play with Bathlight and Alien
Knife
Fight. Yeah.
Alien Knife Fight. That's cool,
They're
man.
from Austin.
I think they're from Austin.
Right on.
These guys.
Cool. So the thing that I was wanting to talk to you guys about was what have to be the struggles of maintaining rights and ownership to the work that you've produced, to the creative things that you've produced. And one of the questions that I like to ask is there anything out there that you no longer have access to as far as monetizing or being able to perform, etc.?
Well, I'll tell you what. When I write a song, the first thing I do is demo it, and when I demo this, I immediately copyright it.
Okay.
To the library in Washington,
Okay.
Library of Congress. First thing, and then I'm gonna wait until the record is done
Okay.
and it's more official, and I'm gonna redo it, like send the official recording again.
Okay.
And copyright it. So I don't have a problem so far
Okay.
with somebody. Actually, CD Baby, for some reason, tried to claim the copyrights of some of our videos out there on YouTube, on our
Right.
channel.
Okay, so they...
Yeah, they were kept on claiming, and I was getting those emails.
Right, yeah.
Too, man. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I was getting them always.
So did they disable it entirely, or did they just start siphoning ads off of your stuff?
They were actually trying to get the royalties, I guess.
Sure, yeah, they wanted the pennies on the views,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And I was like, well, I disputed the
The claim.
claim immediately, but I had to do it for every single song because
Right.
they were
Right.
throwing it out there. So the second time, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna copy this text that I write every time, and every time they will send me something, I will copy paste and send it back. And in about a month, they dropped everything. They're like, okay, you are. They probably checked it out.
Sure. Legitimize it.
Yeah.
I hear you there.
So,
So is CD Baby a service that you had been associated with? How did they come to?
that's the thing. We are. Our first album was through them.
Okay.
But
gotcha.
I never got a note or a memo that
explaining
listen,
all that?
yeah, we're gonna be around and looking for people who are, taking your music and playing it for, instead of you. So I don't know if I would ever. Let's say they would get some royalties.
Right.
Will they notify me?
No, not likely.
That's
the problem, right?
Yeah, and it sounds like a scam to me,
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah. In that scenario, they're taking advantage of a system that lets them, from their perspective, serve the artist, right? By finding those copyright claims, right?
Yeah.
But in serving the artist, they just go, oh, this belongs to these guys, and then they scoop up that revenue. I don't know if you'd ever see even a percentage of that coming back your way.
My audition for Goodman.
Yeah.
I got emails about that, and it was my first audition to actually join. They were sending me emails about it.
What? Like, just because you played the track on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have
Wow,
I have
man.
videos up, and they're trying to get stuff.
Did you ever answer to them?
I just deleted everything.
Yeah, it's kind of what I've done that a couple times. Just like,
yeah.
well, I guess if we're here. Then again, it depends. Isn't there, or is there some merit to being able to have that available to your following or your audience, to have that video available for people to see?
I mean, he's the drummer of Sonar Lights.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, yeah. So it's out of control. I think this whole new place, the digital world,
Right.
with the royalties and the claiming of it, is just so new that
Right.
I think Congress and the state has not, put a lot of attention yet.
Right, like the last time we
And
put
all
any attention was 2003. That's a very long time ago.
Yeah.
So many things have changed.
Exactly.
Right.
And what these vultures do out there, they're like, we better make some money right now.
Right now, before it changes.
Before they pass some laws about it,
Yeah.
And of course the victims are the artists. I mean,
Right.
It's the same goes for look what happened. I don't remember what company it was, but we booked the Deep Ellum Fest. We already had the gig, but he went through a promoter. And we got a message back from the promoter saying, oh, you're not the right kind of genre. You can't play Deep Ellum Fest. And we were already booked.
Oh, wow.
What was the site you were on?
that's Sonic Bits.
There you go.
Sonic Bids did that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta pay them
Right.
to submit, to festivals.
Yeah, so they Sonic Bids will take
It's a
your
membership.
EPK and help you find the bigger and
so
bigger
you
events.
pay them, you send your submissions, and then they said you were not chosen,
Okay.
but we were chosen because we went through a different way.
Oh, I see.
We're already on the
Okay.
bill.
And we were on the bill, and then we received the email from them that we were
Says
not
it
chosen.
didn't work. Yeah, right. Okay.
So
Scam.
it all
Big scam.
So stay local, is that the moral of that story?
Huh?
Is it to stay local? Is that the moral of that story? Go through your local promoters?
Depends.
Just be
You gotta be
careful,
flexible
man.
and be careful, man.
You gotta know.
Tell me more about that. You said be careful. What do I need to look out for?
Just
A lot of promoters are scammers.
promoters are
They
just.
take your money for your applications, and then they say you don't have the gig. It happens
Okay.
more than
I mean, Reverb
unreal.
Nation, look at it. I mean, they're like, you want to submit for this, you want to submit for that. When you want to submit, you have to pay $60, I think,
Okay.
per month. I don't remember, or 20 per month. I
Yeah.
don't remember that. And it's all. Nobody will ever get your submission. I'm pretty sure about that.
Right, sure. And there's no way for you to track it and find that out because it's
Yeah.
the same amount of work if you do it
Yeah.
yourself, right?
Same thing with the radio promoters
Sure.
who will get you like $3,000 or $20,000. It depends on
Yeah.
if they see a band that has a lot of money or a
Right.
rich daddy,
Right.
they're gonna be like, you need $25,000. And I know an example of that
Okay.
person who had I think his father was an ex-Cowboys player, and so he had money.
Right.
$25,000
Is what they were
for
asking for?
radio play. Yeah.
Wow.
And he gave it.
Wow.
And all he would get at the end of the month was a paper
It
with
says,
the stations,
Yeah.
these guys played you.
here's your proof.
Yeah. How do you know?
Yeah, how do you know?
So, have you guys had any kind of interaction with like the local digital airwaves? You know, I'm coming from a podcast point of view and a YouTube channel point of view, but I know there's a ton of local digital radio show hosts. There are, in fact, 2 big local digital networks, one in Arlington and one in Dallas. So, have you guys had any interaction with trying to move your songs into markets like that directly?
We haven't tried that yet.
Okay.
We got our songs in Loud and Local.
Okay, yeah.
The Eagle. The first time, that was like on the first album with a different host. It was Angela Chase, I think.
Okay.
We didn't sign anything, and we were getting royalties
Oh, nice.
out of this.
Okay.
And this time, when the local Loud and Local came back, they sent us a form that we release.
Wow.
So it's exposure.
Right, exactly.
So you won't get any royalties.
Right.
It's just exposure.
Right.
And I was like, really? Okay, well, okay.
Is it bothersome how many bands want to jump on that? Like,
Oh.
to me, I know that there are bands that look at events like that and think of it as legitimacy. Like, if they've made it to where they can pay to play on an event like that, then they're there, right? But there's that exchange, like you're talking about, that ownership, right? Because what exactly are they getting out of that? Just the release from that night, the release of your song? Like, are they going to pull CD Baby down the line? You know, it's one of those kinds of questions. And kind of the idea I have with the co-op is to be a service that would do some of these things, but not in a malicious and evil way, because you know that it's owned from within your own community. So you still need, in my opinion, and feel free to take point with this one, I think that for bands moving forward, because we are in that new digital age where everything's mashing together, right? Yeah. You have to jump on that wave and surf it, or you're going to get just left behind in the tsunami, right? And so one of the things that I'm hoping to do is bring that type of service quickly, easily, cheaply, and make it something that the scene owns, not the Observer, not Clear Channel, not like any particular venue, not, Rich Uncle Sal's artist hangout group. I want it to be something that's real. And have you ever come across an entity like that? If it was a collaborative, a cooperative, a particular recording studio, have you ever had that kind of a vibe in the scene so far?
No.
Wow.
No. I played in Amarillo, I played in Mississippi, and I haven't seen a vibe anywhere like that.
Do you think it's impossible?
No.
No,
I think
I
if
hope
it's done
not.
correctly.
Right?
If you get the right heads together.
Yeah, you get the right brains.
Do whatever.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Right on. So off of that, let me ask if you guys ever heard of the concept of a worker-owned cooperative before being invited to this interview. Is that a concept that you had been familiar with previously?
No.
So are you familiar with it now? I'd love to go over it with you again, what the definition is, and then ask you a couple questions on your responses to it. So cooperative is a business as defined as one that is owned and operated by the workers that would buy or use its goods or services. There are 7 principles of a co-op. It's really long in depth, and we're not doing that seminar right now, right? But the concept is that it's one worker, one share, one vote. It's completely democratically run. It does have to follow like a traditional business model. So you've got your board of directors and you got all that traditional type of corporate stuff, right? But it's one worker, one share, one vote. So you're going to have to vote on the forward trajectory of whatever it is that the company's doing. However, they work with the outside forces. If somebody else is going to make money off the products from the co-op, we have to vote on why, on whether or not that's good for the image, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And the idea is to bring together a whole bunch of freelancers and make this something that exists. Does it sound absolutely bonkers? Is that something that would make sense as far as any type of a business model? A brew pub, a coffee shop, a bookstore? Does it seem like something that could apply?
So what do you mean, like with the band or the workers, us? Or the workers, people behind us, like the bands and stuff?
In the UK, there is a record label that is a co-op, right? And that is how it's run, where what they have is each band is an entity, and each entity belongs into the cooperative, and they have their own studios, and they record this stuff, they handle the tour management and all that stuff as a cooperative. And it's kind of an anomaly, because there's a couple of other that are run like it, but this one in the UK, it hit it big, with EDM and being able to score coastal touring, like exclusives and shit over there in the UK. So there's another example of it, which is more like, unfortunately, the traditional. What I've come to understand is a traditional understanding. I say worker owned cooperative, and I get one of 2 responses: "That's super cool, hippie guy," or are you a communist? What is this social? Like it goes those two ways, right? So the one in Florida is this really intense and intricate collective art group. So it's physical medium art, digital art, projections, installations, and it's a touring, like, carnival ride almost. That's always unique art, and they function as a co-op. In Austin, there are 2 brew pubs where everybody working there, from the brewmasters to the clerks, has a share, owns the thing, and is responsible for promoting it, moving it forward. In New York, there is a nursing staffing agency where each of the nurses owns part of the agency that solves the needs of the local hospital community. So there's lots of different types of these.
Yeah.
They haven't quite caught on yet, in my opinion. But
so you want to apply that in the music business, music scene?
Yeah, I've got two splices or two sides of it, right? One of the things I want to do is bring videographers, digital graphic designers together and make video showcases something that happen. I'm building that as a recurring thing, part of an offshoot of what we do at Deep Video, right? Mm-hmm. The idea is we book the show, we book the venue, we bring in hopefully a really badass bill that gets a lot of people in there, and then the artists are exchanging the performance for finished and edited video that you maintain all the rights to.
Okay.
So we're just producing and completing the work, which allows us to get those freelancers that gig, that hopefully gets them a little bit of money into their pockets to be able to continue their creative pursuits, so that we can all start borrowing from, because this guy might have a vision for a comic book movie down the line, and the other guy over here is already 2 years in on a zombie flick, but he needs the staff and skill to move forward. Yeah. And so we're creating that as well, but trying to get a revenue stream to keep them all interested.
That sounds
on the flip side,
sounds like a great idea, man.
I'm trying to leverage that, right, with physical studio space to be able to reach out to content producers. Because for a year and a half, I've been making comic book review and podcasts and things of that nature. I've been doing Deep Video, getting the performances in the live scene. Anything that would be a step up for me involves a pay-to-play model. Anyone that would look at what I have to put out there wants me to pay at least $100 a month to put my shit on their shit and not gain anything from it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to build the new way. If I could duplicate that pay-to-play model, except that the people who are paying to play own this media, then all the advert and all the sponsorship that comes in is for the team, and it's not for individual shows, and we're not trying to cut each other's throats to make it for the next month.
Yeah.
So it's just ideas, right? And the more I think about it, the more I can imagine applying it to different facets of this scene, and it's just kind of wide open right now. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping to narrow it down once I get back from Austin.
I hear you. Yeah. Sounds like a great idea to me.
Right.
We need to team up artists.
Yeah.
And video, but under certain circumstances. Not just like, okay, let's get together and hang out and do things. And,
right.
We need to focus on what we're going to be doing, and there has to be a plan.
Right, you got to organize it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
because I've heard many ideas close to that.
Sure.
That they, after a couple of months, they just.
Right. I've been cooking this one for about 2 years. I've been looking at the scene and trying to figure out where I fit in as a video guy.
Yeah.
And I've run into my barriers and obstacles, and I decided the only way I can try to do anything is to do the show myself and make it part of the actual show.
Yeah.
And then after that, I might get a little bit of credit. We might get more freelance stuff. Video might break in DFW as a major next wave thing.
Yeah.
But between now and then, we got to find the things that actually work and make it matter, which is which again, thank you guys for being part of this, because this matters. Before we even get to the co-op part, having the ability to go, this is why I have these ideas, because I know that people like this exist and have these opinions, and something should happen. We're in 2016, man. We got the internet. We can do this.
Yeah. Right now, we're kind of like, we got all the technology.
Right.
But the mindset is kind of dark ages,
It's a little weird, right?
Yeah, it is weird. It is weird. It puts like the musicians and the artists in general, it puts them really, really low.
Yeah.
And everybody steps on them to do their thing. Mm-hmm. And that's not cool.
That's
at the end, there will be no music or no art at all if, you know, let's say a few more generations,
right,
and people will be like, it doesn't, you know.
Yeah, I mean they're already working on algorithms for AI Foley artists, so people who are masking sounds to effects in movies won't even be a thing anymore. Because it's all they've trained a computer to look at things and go, oh, it sounds like this, and then job over. So and you know, they've even done that with the neural networks, trying to get them to create or recreate different types of classic pieces of music. So you know what I mean? You take the human out of the equation, and so what do you think the next thing is, man? Is it going to be more festivals? Is it going to be more one-on-one artist engagement? Is it going to be going back to vinyl? Like, are we going back to 8 tracks? What do you think is going to do it as far as maintaining that?
I want to hope that vinyl is coming back, not as a trend,
yeah,
but as a real thing.
Right.
There's a lot of people who love it, and they keep, I mean, they never stop.
Right.
With CDs or anything, they just kept on having vinyls and listening to them. But I don't know, man. It's right now the landscape is kind of blurry.
Yeah.
You know. But I think the only way to do and to fight is to team up with real artists and talented people and make it possible.
That's the plan, man.
Yeah.
Well, you look what it did with us already on the record. This new record that we got coming out. I mean, we were planning on releasing it like a real record, you know, CD, vinyl, all that shit.
Yeah.
But we've taken a step back now, and it's like, well, maybe we should release singles instead, because that seems to be the popular thing.
Yeah.
Releasing one single at a time online and seeing how it does. And then
Right.
every so often, let's put another one up there instead of releasing a full record.
It's like a single every 2 months, and then
Yeah, I
an
mean-
EP, 3 or 4 tracks at the end of the quarter, right? Collect them all, add one more.
Yeah.
We've got another thing
Something
out
like
there.
that.
Something like that. You know?
Yeah.
It's it seems to be the way things are going. I guess that's the opposition right there, isn't it? It's like maybe the hybrid is you continue that serial release and then you release the vinyl afterward.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? Like, but there's got to be some kind of hybridization, right? And that's what I would love to see, is just being able to find a place where these conversations happen for people that matter. Like, if we come up with a brainstorm idea, it's like, okay, that's it. Who do we know that can get us going in that direction? That's the Care Bear stare aspect of it, I guess. But so, do you guys have any other questions about what's going on with video in the scene? I don't know. Actually, I do have one more for you. How do you guys feel about random live streaming? Because Snapchats are a thing, Facebook is a thing, Instagram recording is a thing. When you're playing and you have random members of the audience holding up the phones and you know that you're going to find 3 or 4 versions of your performance the next day or week, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. My opinion on that is just a trend is gonna vanish soon.
Right on.
When the next thing is gonna come, like, you know.
Yeah.
It was Facebook, then it was Instagram. Twitter is gone.
Sure.
It drives me
Vanished.
nuts, man, because you pay money to go see a show. Watch the damn show.
Sure.
But no, they're all you see is fucking cell phones and pads and stuff in your face. They're not
What's the
watching
point?
the
What's
show.
the point of even going? You
Exactly.
just fucking watch it on YouTube later.
Just
for free.
Oh wow,
Your
Third
house.
Eye Blind played over here. Fuck it, I'll watch it on YouTube instead of going to the show. That seems to be where it's headed. Why? You don't at these local shows. Nobody shows up anymore because that's
Yeah.
just it. You can watch the damn show online because you got so many people out there with their damn phones and watches and toothpicks and shit shooting the video. That ain't fair, man.
I hear you.
That's I could
You
go
feel
on-
like that kind of circumvents, huh?
Oh, dude, it hurts the industry
Fucking
bad, in
camera
my opinion.
toothpicks.
Yeah, it's just, you never know. They're smoking
So-
cigarettes. It's got a camera.
Is the antithesis of that just like strapping a fucking GoPro to every joint on your torso and,
That's
and
what it
like
feels
playing and moving
yeah.
through the crowd?
Exactly, and if somebody could take hold of that scene and have control of it, where you got a photographer or you got
Right.
somebody shooting video, and you don't let these assholes have their
That
stuff
is
in there.
one of
That
the
would
rules
be
of the
great.
deep. That's one of the rules of the Deep Video Showcase. Just you're here for this, you know. And so Far Sounds does the same thing, where they kind of choose an intimate location, they set up shop, and they invite people in to observe this, and that's the rule. Put the cell phones away, right? So absolutely, that should happen more often, and not just because I would have the video monopoly, but because it would make a better experience on the show.
Yeah, there's also the other thing, the band. What is this? Stage It. Or something like that.
Yeah, where you can do your own like direct live feed.
Concert, but you know, in order to people to watch it, they have to pay.
Right. Well, see the idea behind Stages, as I understand it, is like you were talking about. Why would they go out to the show if they can watch it for free on YouTube, right? And Stages is supposed to be your like inner circle or your VIP level folks, the ones that are always contributing to your Indiegogos and all that. And those people are ideally the ones that are going to pay in and do that. Now, if you had some kind of awkward conversation direct, maybe I could see it being worth it, but I don't know.
That's kind of weird too.
Yeah, right.
It's weird. We did the couple of years ago when Google Plus was coming up,
splashing in the scene. Yeah,
there was like for like a short period of time a live streaming thing.
Yeah,
and people were doing concerts and in their rooms or whatever, and we did that. Mm-hmm. We streamed like 3-4 songs through a laptop.
Right on. Yeah, webcam.
Which the compression.
Right.
It was so bad.
Right.
But
people
it was
eat it up, I'm
weird
sure.
because you had people. You could hear. You had your the door was opening and it was closing. You could hear like as you were playing. Like, what the fuck is going on?
That's not helpful to anybody, man.
I know. It was just like, why are we doing this? I mean, are we hoping that an LA producer is gonna be so pop
What's the end game, right? Yeah.
Oh, these guys are so cool,
That door sound really sells it.
Even if we were the best fucking band in the world, we would sound like shit through that streaming.
Sure.
So no chance there,
Right.
So
I hear you, man.
Everything is so beta right now.
Yeah.
All these things, and every company has one idea, and they're throwing it there, but there's no thought behind it. They're just throwing it there just to get it.
It's like, we found a problem, here's a potential solution. Just keep throwing solutions. Keep throwing solutions and see what sticks, right?
And it's like the saturation through all these things is just like, what? I don't know.
Right.
Maybe I don't know. I'm getting old.
I don't know. Yeah, you put some years on this one, right? You got some miles on you. But that's a good thing, though, because I think, unfortunately, that sometimes it takes getting frustrated and angry with a situation to find the next level or the next way through, right? I guess that old saying, the only way out is through, kind of a thing. But, I mean, I share your frustration. I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this do, too. Again, thank you guys for being part of the interview. I'm going to go ahead and wind it down here. Is there anything you'd like to send folks to? The website, the Facebook, the YouTube? Let us know about the next show again. Now's the time.
July 1st at Lola's.
Okay.
Bathlight and Alien Knife Fight.
Alien Knife Fight. All right.
You can find us on pretty much every kind of social media. Facebook, Sonar Lights,
Instagram.
Sonarlights.com.
Sonarlights.com.
That's where
all of it, right?
We're pushing our website because we hate Facebook. Facebook is another greedy company.
Right. The promotion thing, right? $20 to get the extra 130, 500, 700 people, whatever it is.
Before I said something.
I don't know.
You could have said something, then I wouldn't have said Facebook, silly.
They can cut it on the editing.
But this is the best part of the video so far. No. Okay.
When you say Facebook, they
just go beep, beep, and censor it. You got it. So, thanks everybody out there for watching another installment of 30 Videos in 30 Days with Jason Dyer, part of Deep Video's parallel effort, going alongside our Indiegogo campaign as we try to get down to Austin and attend the Worker Cooperative National Conference at the University of Texas down there, July 29th through the 31st. We're bringing you guys a co-op eventually. If you'd like to get a hold of us and let us know how amazing this interview was, you can do that at deepvideobooking@gmail.com. If you'd like to see some photos that the handy Blade Esparza took today, you can find those on Instagram, where we were too poverty-stricken to afford the last 2 letters in the name, at DeepVid. You can find us on Twitter at DeepVideo. You can find us on all the other social medias, and of course, especially, youtube.com/DeepVideoLive. Thanks again, guys.